Hey Bobcats, Mr. Fleto here. Welcome back to another great week at HMS. Hope everybody's coming off an awesome weekend. The first thing you may be asking yourself is, why am I dressed like this? And the answer is simple. It's because it is Saturday afternoon, just before 4 o'clock, and I am in here doing this Bob lesson now. Why am I doing this Bob lesson now? Well, the simple fact is I need to get it done, and I didn't have a chance during the week. Why am I bringing this up? Well, for many of you, you know the end of the quarter is a week away, and I've asked many of you the last couple weeks to bring your homework home with you. Find a way to get it done. Remember, don't find an excuse, find a reason. So, as teachers, as counselors, as administrators, we never ask you guys to do anything that we're not willing to do ourselves. So here I am, 4 o'clock on a Saturday afternoon, putting together Bob lesson number 7, and as always, it's for you guys. I'm going to get started on this because it's going to be a little lengthier than normal, and I'm sorry, I know, but we're going over stop, walk, and talk today, and it's really important that you dial in right now and pay attention to this Bob lesson because it's very important stuff. It's important for being at school at HMS, but it's also a life lesson to learn of how to stick up for yourself when others are disrespectful to you. So, without further ado, here goes Bob lesson number 7. Make it a great week, Bobcats. Here we go, Bobcats. Bob lesson number 7. Today we're going to be talking about stop, walk, and talk at HMS. But first, as always, let's be Bob at HMS. Let's be our safe. Let's be responsible. Let's be respectful. And let's be a learner. So, stop, walk, and talk. This is very important. This is what we would like you guys to do at HMS if somebody disrespects you or if somebody is doing something that you do not appreciate. And I'm going to explain to you how does stop, walk, and talk work. Well, the first thing is stop. You can see there's a stop sign there. If you are involved in a situation that makes you uncomfortable, you need to remove yourself from the setting and tell the persons or the person that is doing this to stop. And I want you to do this calmly, and most importantly, I want you to do this strongly. That means looking the person in the eye, standing up straight, holding your ground, and saying, stop. I do not like what is going on. Now, for some of you that have been doing this maybe since elementary school, we know that using the stop sign isn't really cool anymore, and we've kind of outgrown that. So I wanted to go over with you guys the different ways that you can say stop. And I think the most important thing is to do what works for you. Be authentic and be your own person, and say stop in a manner that is your personality, that is true to yourself. Okay, so there's lots of different ways that we can do this. You can say, hey, I don't appreciate being called names. Please stop. Or, what you are doing is really bothering me right now. Please stop. Or, please stop that. I don't appreciate being disrespected. Or, please don't disrespect me like that. Or, you know what, I'm not cool with you hitting me or poking me or whatever it is, the behavior that you don't appreciate. I'd appreciate being treated with more respect than that. Thank you. Or, when you exhibit a certain behavior, that really bothers me. Please stop. So we can say stop in a variety of different ways, and the key is to be genuine and authentic, and to say it in a way that is you, that is going to be true to who you are. So we tell somebody to stop, and maybe they didn't realize that was bothering us. Maybe they were joking around. Now they know. Hopefully we stood up straight, we looked them in the eye, and we were serious, and we said stop in any form or fashion that works for you. Okay, well, the next thing to do, if telling them to stop doesn't work, is to walk. So walk would be the second step of stop, walk, and talk. And you should walk away calmly. Remove the attention that the disrespect needs in order to continue. A lot of people, when they decide they're having a bad day and they're going to disrespect somebody, what they really want is a reaction from you. They want to see you upset. They want to see you flustered. They want to see you cry and not be happy, and that's really what's fueling their fire. Another thing that walking away is good for is disengaging from the situation and creating space in between you and the person that is doing this. You've told them to stop. Maybe they're still on it, maybe they're not. If they are still on it, then we walk away and we create space and distance between you and the person that is exhibiting the disrespectful behavior. Now, I'm not going to use the bully word. I don't think anybody is a bully. I don't think anybody out there is a bully. I think we have students sometimes and people sometimes that exhibit disrespectful behavior. So I'm going to talk a lot about this in the next couple Bob lessons, and I'm just a huge believer that I don't like to label somebody a bully. I think we all have bad days. I think we all have problems that need to get worked out, and sometimes we exhibit disrespectful behavior because that's really what it is. So, walking away calmly means, like I said, you are choosing to disengage from the situation. That disengage is something that if you get to know me, you're going to hear me talk about a lot. Okay, if you're having problems with somebody, don't engage with them. If you are having problems with somebody, disengage with them and walk away. Do this so that you're not being disrespectful to yourself in response to the other student's disrespect. Somebody comes at you and disrespects you, one of the natural human responses is to be disrespectful back to them, an eye for an eye, right? And that's something that we want to discourage here at HMS. Also, it's not encouraging other students to be disrespectful to the student who was disrespectful to you. Hopefully many of you have very good friends that stand up for you, and if you walk away, then it's not going to encourage some of your friends to try to get even, an eye for an eye, or to disrespect them back. Well, what happens if we tell them to stop, they don't stop, we walk away, and they continue to engage with us? Well, the third part about that is to talk. Get help, report the problem to a responsible adult. Let's talk about who are some responsible adults at HMS. Well, you have teachers. If you're in a classroom, they would be a good person to talk to. A lot of those teachers you see out at the playground as playground staff. You can also always talk to an office staff. You can also talk to Mr. McKay or Mr. Boyle. And how about the school counselors, myself and Miss Panis? Okay, what's cool about our job is we are specially, and I got a typo there, see, I make mistakes too, we are specially trained to mediate and work through situations to get all parties back on track. And the thing that I like about my job, I love about my job, and I know Miss Panis does too, is we also work to solve problems before they escalate into punitive situations. For those of you that don't know what punitive means, that means getting punished. Okay, so I prefer when students come and seek myself or Miss Panis out, because that's what we want to do. Okay, we understand that we have 700 some students in this school. Not everybody's going to get along. We're going to have disagreements, and I like to try to work these disagreements out so that both parties involved can go about their lives and get their education and do so in a happy and healthy manner here at school. One of our school's mission statements is to create a positive and safe learning environment that allows all students to succeed by giving them opportunities to be their best. So you can seek out any of these people. Of course, myself and Miss Panis love to be sought out, because that's what we're here for, is to help you folks. So one of the things we get asked is, what's the difference between talking and tattling? If you stop, walk, and talk, and you go tell an adult, does that make you a tattletale or a snitch or whatever it is you might like to call it? And the truth is no. Talking is when you have tried to solve the problem yourself and have used the stop first to let the person that is exhibiting disrespectful behavior, let them know that you don't appreciate it. And then you've walked away. You've created time and space in between you and that person, and you've disengaged from them. Tattling is when you do something, is when you do not use the stop and walk away, and it's when you're trying to get somebody in trouble, almost like you're baiting them. You know, we're all imperfect human beings, folks, and we all make mistakes, and we all have our bad days, and we all have things, say things and do things that sometimes we shouldn't do. Staff as well as you students, we're just as mistake prone as you guys are. So tattling is when you're really trying to get somebody in trouble. When you stop, walk, and then talk, that's not getting anybody in trouble. That's you being respectful to yourself, standing up for yourself, and realizing, you know what, I have a right to go to school here and to be respected and to be treated with respect. And if that's not going to happen after I stop and walk, then it's my right to tell somebody so that an adult can step in and get the situation worked out. Why is it so hard for kids to report problem behavior to a responsible adult? Well, we talked before. You guys don't want to tell on one another. You don't want the situation to get worse. But unfortunately, one of the things that happens is many incidents of disrespect are not reported, in spite of the fact that research shows that reporting is the most effective tool for actually getting problem behavior to stop. And here's the simple truth, folks, is when you fail to report continuing disrespectful behavior, that person often continues to do it. And they might do it to you, and then they might do it to the next person, and then to the next person, and then to the next person. And it becomes like a domino effect. Maybe that person's having a really tough day. Maybe that person's having a hard time being a friend. Maybe they need an adult to step in, like myself or Miss Pandis, or a teacher, Mr. Knox, Miss Cope, I know, or have a reputation of really helping students in some of these matters. Shout out to Miss Cope and Mr. Knox. And maybe they need an adult to step in and help them. You know, think of it as a forest fire. Instead of being put out when it was small, it grows and grows and affects many more people when you use stop, you use walk, and you don't talk. Will you need to talk every single time? And that's a great question. And it depends. If stop and walk solve the problem, and you're doing okay with that, you can choose not to talk. Hopefully, using stop is enough. Hopefully, if using stop isn't enough, then you walk away, then we're good to go, and you never have to talk. Sometimes it depends on the extent of the disrespect or the frequency of the disrespect. If this is an everyday thing, you really need to talk because we got a bigger problem going on. If it's just an isolated event and something happens and somebody's having a bad day and they spout out and they don't handle their frustration or their anger or their sadness in the right way and they put that onto somebody else in a disrespectful manner, you know, hopefully a lot of times they just need to, hey, stop. I don't appreciate that. That wasn't cool what you just said, and it's over, you know. The answer then is the judgment call, and all of us at HMS will be more able to make those decisions as we gain experience using this strategy. So, what can you expect when you talk to an adult? Well, the adults will ask you what the problem is. You know, what is the problem? Who is the problem with? How long has the problem persisted for? And they will ask you if you told the problem to stop. Right? We want to enable you guys and empower you guys to handle these situations on your own. Because, as I talked about in the intro, there's disrespect. There's not a shortage of disrespectful people out there in the world, unfortunately. And these are skills you need to learn as you become a young adult and as you become adult, because you're not always going to have somebody there to defend you or to solve your problems for you. So we're really trying to empower you guys with the skills to handle this on your own. But they will ask you if you said to stop, and then they will ask you if you calmly walked away. If the answer was yes to both of those, perfect. That's what an adult is there for. Now, I got an important warning. Every situation is a little different. If there is imminent danger, and that means if there's danger that's about to happen, we don't stop, we don't walk, we go directly to an adult. Okay, we got to be able to analyze the situation and know exactly what it is that is going on. Remember this, if at any point along the way you think the problem is solved, you can choose not to go to the next step. Again, hopefully all we have to do is let that person know, hey, stop, I don't appreciate that, or hey, stop, I'm not cool with the way you are treating me. Hopefully 9 times out of 10 it ends there, right? And that's what we really want. So at any point along the way you think the problem's solved, we can choose not to go to the next step. If you were told to stop, whether you agree with the stop or not, take a deep breath. It's not the end of the world. Go on with your day and do your part to help de-escalate the situation, right? Or to disengage from the situation. Okay, somebody tells you to stop, maybe you joke around. I'm a huge joker. Some of you are starting to find out that I like to clown around and joke around all the time. I think life is too short to be too serious all the time. I like to smile. I like to make other people laugh. And this is something I've had to learn over the years, is that somebody that I joke around with all the time, maybe they're having a bad day and they don't want to hear it that day. And boom, they tell me to stop. Whoa. Okay, that's all I needed to hear. I apologize, you know. Didn't mean to ruffle your feathers. So, if you're told to stop, be a good party and stop whatever the behavior is. Apologize if you have to. Okay, you can never go wrong apologizing. It's a respectful thing to do, and move on with your day. Well, what do we expect? What can you guys expect if you don't stop? If you continue to treat others with disrespect? Well, first you can expect an adult to intervene to help solve the problem. I've said a couple times now, Ms. Panis and myself love being that person. We like being problem solvers. Okay, I like to handle situations before you end up in the office and in Mr. Boyle's office. That's my main goal here at HMS. If you don't participate in the problem-solving process, you can expect discipline consequences because being disrespectful is taken very seriously at HMS. Again, everybody has a right to show up and learn, access their education, hopefully engage in their own learning process. And in the simple matter of the fact is, folks, is that we all come together, and you're not going to get along with everybody. Not everybody is going to be your friend. You're not going to agree with everybody, but at a minimum, we have to respect other people, and that means not making their day harder than it has to be. All right, I got this quote from Mr. Sturgar, and Mr. Sturgar said, if you fail, never give up, because FAIL, the acronym FAIL, means first attempt in learning. And I know a lot of you come across that. Your first attempt at something and you don't do so well. END is not the end. In fact, the acronym END means effort never dies. I tell you what, folks, I'm gonna stop real quick. If you put in effort and you work hard in life, the old principal at Clancy School where I was at last year, he used to say, if you have a work ethic and you put in the effort, there's always a place for you somewhere in the world, in the real world. And I'm a huge believer of that. Effort and working hard is so underrated, man. You can get so far in life by having a good attitude and working hard. If you get no as an answer, remember the acronym NO means next opportunity. So let's be positive. All right, my Jelly Bean Challenge winners are, well, the question was the difference in career salary on average between someone who earns a master's degree and someone who earns an associate's degree is $944,000. Isn't that crazy over the lifetime? Going an extra 4 years of college, you end up earning an extra $1 million almost. So my winners are, and a big congratulations to Charles Barnett, Taylor James Miller, Madison Rout, my guy Kane McDowell, and Kaylee De Montigny. Come see me after school. You see I got that bolded. Come see me after school to claim your jelly bean packets. And I'm glad you guys like that. Thanks for all the entries again. On Friday when all the entries were in, I just randomly took 5 answers out of there, and the first 5 that were correct, those were my winners. So I'll be trying to do more fun stuff like this and give you guys more opportunities to earn jelly beans here in the future, probably starting with next B.O.B Lesson, because I want you guys to be engaged every Monday or Tuesday, and I want you guys to sacrifice your homework time because I've got great information that myself, Miss Panis, are trying to put out there every week for you guys, and I want you guys to be dialed in for it. As always, make a great week, Bobcats. This is the last week of first quarter. It's not how you started for a lot of you, but it's how you finish. Okay, let's get all that missing work in. Let's make sure we buckle down and we finish the quarter strong. Make a great week, Bobcats.